Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have an incredible story to share with you that could actually change the way you approach some of your biggest challenges. If you've ever felt like fear or anxiety has held you back from something important, whether it's at work, in relationships, or just everyday life, then stick around because this story might be exactly what you need. We're going to follow the journey of Rachel, a brilliant software developer who's terrified of public speaking. She's about to face one of the biggest challenges of her career, a promotion that could change her life. But there's one problem. She's paralyzed by the thought of giving a presentation. Sounds familiar? Well, Rachel's story takes a surprising turn when her friend Danielle shares a powerful method that helped him overcome a struggle of his own. And it's something that could work for her too. And maybe for you as well. This story isn't just about Rachel. It's also about you. After you hear what Rachel goes through, we're going to dive into how you can apply the same tips and techniques to improve your life, just like she does. So if you're ready to start letting go of the fears or stress that might be holding you back, then keep watching. You won't want to miss this. Rachel had always been a quiet and introvert person. She was brilliant at her job as a software developer, excelling at problem solving and coding, but when it came to speaking in front of others, whether in meetings or presentations, she was consumed by fear. Every time she had to stand in front of a group, no matter how small, her hands would sweat, her voice would shake, and her mind would go blank. For years, she had avoided leadership roles or promotions because they would inevitably involve public speaking, something she was terrified of. Then, one day, her manager called her into the office. Rachel was being considered for a promotion, a big opportunity to lead her team. But with it came responsibilities she dreaded, running meetings, presenting to clients, and sharing her ideas regularly. She knew she had the skills for the role, but the thought of speaking in front of others made her feel sick with anxiety. That evening, Rachel met up with her good friend Danielle at their favorite coffee shop. She told Danielle about the promotion and her fears, her hands wrapped around her cup as she admitted, "I want this promotion, but I can't get past my fear of public speaking. Every time I think about standing in front of people, I freeze. I don't know what to do." Danielle listened quietly, then leaned forward. "I get it, Rachel. I went through something similar a few years ago, not with public speaking, but with my breakup." Rachel blinked, surprised. "What do you mean?" Danielle took a deep breath. "A few years ago, my girlfriend left me. We had been together for a long time, and I thought we'd get married someday. When she ended it, I was crushed. I felt broken, completely lost. For months, I couldn't shake the pain. It was like my whole world had collapsed, and no matter what I tried, I couldn't move on. I just kept replaying everything in my head, asking myself where it all went wrong." Rachel frowned. "That must have been awful. But you seem fine now." Danielle nodded. "It was rough. But then I found something that helped me. I discovered the Sedona method. It's a way to let go of the emotions that are holding you back." At first, I didn't believe it could help, but I was desperate. I tried it, and it completely changed the way I dealt with the breakup. Rachel tilted her head, intrigued. "How did it work?" Danielle smiled faintly. "It didn't magically erase the pain, but it helped me let go of the constant hurt and obsessing. Little by little, I released the anger, the sadness, and the feeling of being broken. Over time, I stopped dwelling on it, and I started feeling like myself again. It gave me the ability to move on. I think the Sedona method could help you let go of your fear of public speaking the same way it helped me to let go of my heartbreak. Rachel stared at him, trying to absorb this story. You really think it could work for me? I do, Daniel said, nodding. Fear is fear, whether it's about heartbreak or public speaking. I'd be happy to walk you through the method if you're open to it. Rachel hesitated, still unsure. I don't know, Dan. I've tried so many things. What makes this different? It's worth trying, right? Daniel replied with a gentle smile. It's just a few questions that help you let go of whatever is holding you back. It helped me let go of all that pain, and I really believe it could help you let go of this fear. How about we try it together, and if it doesn't work, you won't lose anything. Rachel thought about it, then finally nodded. Okay, let's give it a try. Daniel straightened up and began guiding her through the process. First, let's focus on the fear you feel about public speaking. Close your eyes and really focus on it for a moment. Rachel did as he asked, allowing herself to feel the familiar knot of anxiety in her chest as she imagined speaking in front of her colleagues. Now, Daniel said, ask yourself the first question. What is the emotion or problem you're experiencing? Rachel took a deep breath. It's fear. Fear of public speaking. I'm scared of messing up, of being judged, of not being good enough. Daniel nodded. Okay, now, ask yourself, could you let it go? Could you let go of this fear? Rachel frowned slightly. The fear felt so ingrained in her that she wasn't sure if she could really let it go. But as she thought about it, she realized that maybe it wasn't impossible. I think, I could let it go. Good, Daniel encouraged her. Now, would you let it go? If you could, would you? Rachel hesitated, feeling the weight of the question. Letting go of her fear seemed like stepping into the unknown. But if Daniel could do it with something as intense as heartbreak, maybe she could too. Yes, she said softly. I would. Daniel smiled warmly. And finally, when? When would you let it go? Rachel took another deep breath, feeling the tension in her body. She looked at Daniel and said, Now, I'm ready to let it go now. They sat in silence for a few moments. Rachel felt the fear still there, but something inside had shifted. It wasn't gone, but it no longer felt as overwhelming as it had before. For the first time, she felt like she might actually have the power to release it, instead of being controlled by it. In the days leading up to her presentation, Rachel practiced what Daniel had taught her. Every time the anxiety resurfaced, she asked herself the 4 questions and released the fear bit by bit. By the time her presentation day arrived, she was still nervous, but she no longer felt paralyzed. Just before stepping into the room, Rachel found a quiet spot to go through the questions one last time. What am I feeling? Could I let it go? Would I let it go? When? Each answer brought a sense of calm. The nerves were still there, but they no longer controlled her. Rachel walked into the room, stood in front of her colleagues, and delivered her presentation. Her voice was steady, her mind clear, and she made it through without freezing up. Afterward, her manager congratulated her on a job well done. The promotion was hers. Later that evening, Rachel texted Daniel, "I did it! The Sedona method worked. Thank you so much for helping me through this." Daniel replied almost immediately, "That's amazing! I knew you could do it. But remember, you did the work. You let go of the fear. I just showed you the way." From that day forward, Rachel continued using the Sedona method whenever anxiety or fear surfaced, just like Daniel had with his heartbreak. With Daniel's support and the powerful technique, she had found a new way to face her fears and take control of her life. And with that, she knew she could handle whatever challenges came her way, one release at a time. Whoa, what a journey Rachel went through, right? It's incredible how she was able to turn things around with just a few simple questions, thanks to Daniel and the Sedona method. Now, let's talk about how you can take the same steps Rachel did to overcome your own fears or anxieties, whatever they might be. So, let's break it down. Rachel followed a 4-step process to release the fear that was holding her back from public speaking. And you can do the same with anything that's causing you stress or anxiety. And as we go through these steps, feel free to pause the video if you need more time to think or if you want to fully process each question before moving on. There's no rush. Take as much time as you need. Here is how it works. 1. Identify the emotion or problem. Just like Rachel, the first step is recognizing what's bothering you. Whether it's fear, anxiety, frustration, or even doubt, take a moment to really feel it and acknowledge what's going on. 2. Ask yourself, could I let this go? This is key. Think about whether it's possible for you to release the grip that the fear or stress has over you. Most of the time, the answer is yes, even if it feels hard at first. And remember, pause the video if you need more time to really consider this. 3. Next, ask yourself, would I let it go? This question is about choice. Do you want to let go of the fear, stress, or whatever is holding you back? If the answer is yes, you're already halfway there. 4. When? In Rachel's case, she decided to let go of her fear in that very moment, and it was a powerful decision. But this is about your journey. Feel for yourself if you're ready to let go now or whenever you choose. The power is in your hands. You decide when to release it. By asking yourself these 4 questions, you can release the emotional baggage that's weighing you down, just like Rachel did. And remember, it's a practice. The more you use it, the more effective it becomes. If you found this story helpful and want to see more content like this, I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow and allows me to keep sharing tips and stories to help you live your best life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.